We're watching a developing story out of Halifax this hour. The RCMP there have arrested and charged a youth on several charges of child pornography. The youth is linked to a worldwide online extremist group that is known to glorify serious violence and cruelty found on social media and gaming apps. And the CBC's Tricia Kindelman is here with more details. And before we get into the details, a warning: some viewers may find parts of the story disturbing. Tricia, what do we know?
Yeah, some very upsetting details here, particularly for parents who are raising children in this extremely interconnected online world. Now, what we know from Halifax police, now they say it was May 2025 when they were informed of this situation, that there was a Halifax resident that was active in this, what they're referring to as an online violent extremist group. And now they were able to ID this individual, and they have since been charged with several child pornography offenses, as well as charges related to publishing obscene material. Now, the police have said there is concern for retaliation, so they will not be publicly identifying the individual involved. And again, as you mentioned, Andrew, there was this connection between this network known as 764, also known as the COM, or the Community Online. And now police believe that the youth that was taken into custody had communicated with hundreds of people in these online platforms. Here's more of what they had to say.
At the time of the arrest, the youth was acting as a predator in a group called 764. 764 is a subgroup of the COM network, which is made up of people who glorify serious violence and cruelty. They are known to have extreme views, and perhaps most concerning, they are primarily youth targeting other youth, younger children, and vulnerable adults.
Now, RCMP have said that they use common online social media and gaming apps. They say these victims are manipulated into sharing intimate images, acts of violence, and even acts of animal cruelty. Now, they are urging parents to use the parental controls that are available on a number of these apps, and they've called it a complex and troubling investigation. They say the young person has been released and will be back in Halifax court. They did not have an exact timing on that next court appearance, though, and they would not get into the specifics of how this youth that they did have in custody briefly got involved with this group, Andrew.
And so tell us more about this group that this youth was allegedly connected to.
Yeah, so it's not the first time this group has been seen in Canada. It is the first time in Nova Scotia, though. Now, there's no indication that this person who was involved was a victim themselves, although they did say that that's not an uncommon cycle that can be repeated in these sort of groups. Now, they also describe their purpose as really just to sort of cause general chaos. And here's a bit more from one of the other investigators who talked about this group.
The COM is an online network of basically youth or young people whose purpose is nothing more than cause chaos amongst other youth. These groups target youth between the ages of 8 to 18 primarily for the purpose of, sadly, pure entertainment in most cases.
Now, authorities here in Canada do not classify this group as a terrorist organization, but there are some countries around the globe that do consider them one. And now they, again, are not new to Canadian law enforcement. Some of the platforms that they've been found on are things like Discord, Telegram, Minecraft, and Roblox. So again, commonly used apps. They said these are the clear web, not the dark web sort of thing, where you might be a little more open to this sort of activity. But they did say that platforms are working with authorities. Moderators are required on these sites per U.S. and Canadian law, and that is how a lot of tips are actually sent in to a number of places around the world. Here in Canada, though, there is the Canadian Child Exploitation Centre that's based in Ottawa, and a lot of these tips kind of come from them and are funneled out to the proper jurisdictions and authorities, Andrew.
All right. Thanks, Tricia.
Thanks.